So behind the scenes, as a human being, he's doing a phenomenal job that way. And then he's working really hard. He's got a tremendous work ethic, and he's working really hard to pick up the things that he needs to, and that's all the pre-snap stuff. He's got to figure out how to call the play in the huddle, how to work on the protections and the motions and all of those things that happen pre-snap. Post-snap, he's doing great. I mean, he's got a really nice ball. He's got a really nice arm. He puts nice touch on it. He's very, very accurate, and I think he's earning more reps. I think they have to be really, really happy with what they're seeing with him.
Forget calm headlines, this is full-on chaos in shoulder pads. Shedeur Sanders just set off the biggest eruption in Cleveland since LeBron's exit. Mary Kay Cabot didn't tiptoe, she dropped a bomb. He's ready to start. Now every skeptic looks like they've been blindsided by a linebacker wearing flip-flops. The haters? Shaking, crying, scrambling to rewrite their tweets in real time. This isn't a debate anymore, it's the burial of their hot takes, and Shedeur's the one swinging the shovel.
Remaining focused on the main thing.
Do you feel like kind of close to getting to where you want to be in terms of, getting a chance to play this?
I don't think playing or not playing, is in my hands. I think based on the situation, it's if things happen, things pan out where I play, then I'll be out there and I'll be ready to play. So I'm ready.
Browns bombshells don't come often, but when they land, they hit harder than a Myles Garrett helmet swing. And this one? It didn't come from a random fan page, a burner account, or that one uncle who insists he has inside sources because his barber once trimmed the third cousin of a Browns wideout.
Every week, so I have 6 games a week, so I'm happy rather than just having 1 game a week, on the weekend. So the scout team receivers, all of us, we all know like every day's game day, and we definitely approach everything in that fashion and everything, because I truly believe the receivers we have on the scout team is really explosive and they're really great. They just need an opportunity. So, I'm very thankful. I have those guys, out there with me whenever I'm out there competing.
No, this came straight from Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland's queen of quarterback funerals, a woman who's witnessed more QB collapses than most fans have enjoyed good Sundays in their entire lives. And now, she's saying the unthinkable, Shedeur Sanders is ready, not maybe with time. Not could develop someday. No, she's planting the flag right now.
Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, had an interview today from ESPN Cleveland. He went out and told them, man, I'm ready. Shedeur said, I'm ready now. He said, I'm ready right now. Once again, that's Mary Kay Cabot doing an interview with Shedeur Sanders at the locker room, I think 3 days ago. And recently, today, he did another interview with ESPN Cleveland, who walked up to him in the locker room after practice. And Shedeur just went out there and let him know, man, I'm ready right now.
She pulled a full reversal, flipped faster than a pancake at IHOP on free breakfast day. The same Mary Kay who once side-eyed Shedeur harder than a grandma watching you disrespect her cooking is now the one handing him the golden seal of approval.
Shedeur just put the Browns and the entire NFL on notice with one statement. After everything he's been through, is payback coming? I like Shedeur answers. He always answers professionally. And I'm telling you, man, their confidence is unwavering. As much as Cleveland is trying to break this man, sabotage, hold back, Kaepernicking, whatever word you want to use, as much as he done been through this whole short rookie season, he still got the confidence that he can go out there and be QB1.
And the best part? The haters are in full meltdown mode. Somewhere in Ohio, whole fantasy football leagues just rage quit in protest. 4 months, the NFL world treated Shedeur Sanders like that kid at recess nobody wanted on their dodgeball team. Too raw. Too entitled. Too Dion's kid, so of course he's overhyped. We heard it all, he couldn't read defenses, couldn't handle pressure, couldn't even tie his cleats without calling his dad for backup, yet out of nowhere, Mary Kay Cabot, the same reporter who practically stapled the not ready label on his forehead, is now praising his accuracy, his touch, and his readiness to actually start NFL games. Did we just slip into an alternate universe, or did Cleveland football finally deliver a positive storyline for once? Here's the kicker. It's not just the praise, it's the complete 180. Mary Kay Cabot has been covering Browns quarterbacks since before Wi-Fi existed. She's seen them all, the busts, the flameouts, the one-season miracles who crashed harder than a Tesla on autopilot. And when she drops the word elite on a rookie quarterback, that's not some throwaway line. That's like Gordon Ramsay calling your grilled cheese edible. It actually means something's changed, but the juiciest part of all this isn't even Mary Kay's flip-flop, it's why Shedeur is in Cleveland in the first place. Remember the draft day whispers? The drama about Deion Sanders telling the Ravens to back off? Everyone painted it as entitlement, like Shedeur stomped his feet and screamed, "I don't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson. I deserve my own team."
It's up to Kevin Stefanski. It's up to management to let me know when I get ready to go in. And when I go in, I'm going to do them. I'm going to stand up in that paint. You ain't got to say it. I say it for you. When he go in, he going to stand up in that paint. He letting y'all know. Man, I done looked at all these quarterbacks. I'm looking at Cam Ward. I'm looking at our situation with Joe Flacco. You going to tell me I ain't better than them? Ha! Boy, look at here. You better ask somebody. And the players, they know Shedeur Sanders is him.
What Mary Kay just confirmed makes that old narrative look as outdated as a 2007 MySpace status. This wasn't entitlement. This wasn't privilege. This was strategy, straight chess moves from Deion Sanders. Why would Shedeur waste a decade collecting splinters on Baltimore's bench behind Lamar, when he could step into Cleveland and actually get a shot to play? That's not arrogance, that's career management. That's knowing your value. That's looking at a franchise more desperate for a quarterback than a toddler is for juice boxes and saying, "Yeah, I can fix that mess." And here's what really makes the haters sweat. Shedeur wasn't some fallback option for the Browns, he was pursuing them. He was calling Stefanski. Building relationships with the front office. He wanted Cleveland. Who in their right mind chooses Cleveland over the defending AFC North champs? Apparently, a quarterback with vision, and just enough confidence to believe he can break the Browns' eternal QB curse. Either that, or he just really loves snow, sadness, and getting screamed at by dog-pound fans in minus 10-degree weather. But let's get back to the practice field, because that's where things get spicy. Mary Kay didn't just say Shedeur looks good. She dropped details that make you sit up. Rep after rep, he's facing first-team defenses while running with the second-team offense and still completing passes. 2 out of 3, against some of the nastiest defenders in the league. That's not filler. That's not charity praise. That's substance.
I got this from CBS Sports here. This is Jordan Dejani. Shedeur said in a radio interview that he's ready to play now. Quote, "I know I'm capable of doing better than some current NFL quarterbacks." Am I supposed to get mad at him for having confidence in himself? Am I covering for him? Am I covering for Shedeur if I say something like that?
No, my first thought when I heard that was, he
might not seeing the truth.
He definitely thinks he's better than Flacco right now. That was my thought. Because who's been worse than Flacco? Like, how many quarterbacks have been worse than Flacco?
That's Mary Kay watching a kid who was supposed to be years away from competing suddenly look like the sharpest player on the field. And it doesn't stop there. She's raving about his leadership, about how teammates are already responding to him, about how his personality has become a surprise hit in the locker room. For a reporter usually colder than a Cleveland winter when it comes to quarterbacks, that's basically a love letter. She even described scenes where reporters literally ditched other players mid-interview just to swarm Shedeur. Imagine being Jerome Baker, delivering your best speech of the year, only to look up and realize half the room just sprinted away because the rookie QB walked in. That's gravity. That's star power, and here's the delicious irony. 4 months, the NFL media machine painted Shedeur as arrogant, entitled, writing his father's name. Yet the receipts Mary Kay is pulling out tell a different story. We're seeing a rookie grinding in practice, building chemistry with young receivers, flashing accuracy that's already being labeled elite. That's not hype. That's not potential. That's work. That's results, and let's not skip the most important detail, the middle of the field. Most rookies avoid it like radioactive waste, too risky, too many lurking defenders. they stick to safe throws along the sidelines. But Shedeur, he's layering passes into tight windows, attacking areas even veterans hesitate to test. That's not rookie behavior. That's confidence. That's trust in his arm. And more importantly, that's the kind of skill that makes offensive coordinators drool. So let's connect the dots. You've got a rookie quarterback who could have gone anywhere, and he chose Cleveland.
Shedeur understands what the situation is and what situation he is in right now. We know we had all that talk about him going to the Eagles, getting drafted by the Eagles, and turning down the Baltimore Ravens. But at the time, in April, during the draft, who would have thought Shedeur was going to fall to the 5th round? And then who would have thought he would have been part of collateral collusion with the Browns? He didn't know that. He didn't even think about, hey, it's a possibility they might try to bury me on depth chart. It's a possibility they might try to hold me back.
You've got his Hall of Fame father playing chess while everyone else is still fumbling with Connect 4, making sure his son didn't waste a career stuck behind Lamar. You've got Mary Kay Cabot, the Browns' ultimate skeptic, suddenly calling him ready. And you've got a fan base that sat through more quarterback disasters than horror movie marathons suddenly daring to believe again. What does it all add up to? Absolute chaos. Beautiful, hilarious chaos, because let's be honest, Cleveland's current quarterback situation isn't exactly inspiring. Joe Flacco is out here averaging fewer points than a JV squad. The offense looks allergic to the end zone. And now, looming in the wings, there's a rookie with elite accuracy and unshakable confidence? Oh, the drama practically writes itself. Every incomplete pass from the starter becomes a countdown to the Shedeur era. Every sack, every interception, every 3-and-out is just a commercial break for when will they unleash Sanders. And that's why this story has the NFL world shook. The narrative is collapsing. The media said he wasn't NFL ready. They said he was overhyped. They said he couldn't handle pressure. Yet the one reporter with zero incentive to pump sunshine, the same reporter leading the not ready parade, is now saying he looks ready. That's not a minor shift. That's a tectonic plate level earthquake under the NFL media landscape. Of course, the haters are already scrambling for cover. It's just practice. Mary Kay is being too nice. He hasn't played a real snap yet. Yeah, sure. Keep telling yourselves that while the receipts keep piling up.
I think we're going to see him earlier than expected because I think the offense is awful. And I think that when you have your defense that's out there playing the way that they've played in 2 of the 3 weeks that they've played, showing you how elite they can be, then you can't continue to go week to week being as anemic and impotent offensively as the Joe Flacco-led offense has been. Eventually, obviously, you're going to put Dylan Gabriel in there. He's a bit undersized, even though he's skilled, he's a bit undersized, and I think that will be exposed come on NFL Sunday. And at some point in time, the fans there are going to clamor to see Shedeur Sanders. And
the reality is, when respected veterans of the game flip the script, it's not because they suddenly feel generous. It's because they're seeing something undeniable. And let's zoom out to the long game. Mary Kay pointed out Shedeur isn't just grinding for himself, he's building chemistry with the Browns' young receivers, the same core that could define this team's future. That's not just quarterback development. That's a foundation. That's culture. That's a rookie investing in his teammates instead of waiting for handouts. And here's the kicker, she admitted there's a real-world scenario where Shedeur could see playing time this season. Not as a desperate Hail Mary. Not as a meaningless experiment. But as a legitimate option. If the offense keeps sputtering, if the starter keeps dragging, Sanders might actually touch the field. And when he does, don't be surprised if it looks exactly like what Mary Kay described: accurate, confident, fearless. So what does all this mean? It means the NFL media got caught with their pants down. It means the doubters who dismissed him as just Deion's kid are scrambling for new talking points. It means the Cleveland Browns, yes, those Browns, might have stumbled into a real quarterback of the future. And it means fans better get used to saying his name, because based on everything we're hearing, you're about to hear it a lot, the shift is happening. The narrative is flipping. And whether the haters like it or not, Shedeur Sanders is on his way.
Coach Prime sat down with the Kelsey Bros on the New Heights podcast, and he finally said what I have been trying to tell y'all for the longest. In his words, he said, I have never sat on the bench and said, man, I sure have learned a lot today. They asked him about Shedeur Sanders, and when it came down to this infamous draft day where he didn't want to go to Baltimore, and now we just found out the Eagles. Why sit behind Lamar Jackson to get any experience? And I mean no disrespect when I say this. Even if you take it disrespectfully, I don't mean nothing by it. But if you thought sitting behind an MVP, sitting behind the face of the league, you were going to somehow be a better player by watching somebody that's the backup in you talking.
The only question left is how soon Cleveland admits it and hands him the keys. Because if Mary Kay Cabot, the woman who's watched every quarterback disaster this franchise has ever cooked up, is suddenly saying he's ready, then maybe, just maybe, this time it's actually true. So to the doubters, the critics, the trolls, and the he'll never make it crowd, congratulations. You just got dunked on by your own favorite source. Shedeur Sanders isn't waiting for your approval. He's grinding, proving, and flipping the script one rep at a time. And when he finally steps onto that field, remember this moment, you were warned. With Mary Kay shifting from cautious insider to unofficial hype woman, the Browns suddenly have something they haven't had in forever, a quarterback storyline that doesn't make fans want to cry into their nachos. And it's not empty hype, it's rooted in what's actually happening on the practice field. Here's where the irony really sizzles. For months, the narrative was that Shedeur was too raw, too entitled, too much of a college star trying to skip steps. Meanwhile, he was grinding in silence while the media wrote punchlines. And now that the receipts are out, the same insiders who doubted him are being forced into Olympic-level spin moves. Full pirouettes, everywhere you look, and then comes the part that's truly setting the haters on fire, the Ravens twist. When Deion Sanders openly said Baltimore wasn't the right fit, the outrage was louder than a Browns fan after a blown fourth-quarter lead.
It's going to be sooner than later. I'm not saying it's going to be the next 2 or 3 weeks, but I don't think it's going to take week 16 or 17 for this to happen. I think you're going to see it happen earlier, but by default, it's because their offense is significantly more god-awful than we suspected.
I mean, it worked itself out in the preseason, right? Like we saw Shedeur earlier than we thought because of injuries and whatnot. Like we could have the same situation happening because of their deficiencies on offense here in the regular season. All right, it is from week 3.
Media personalities lost their collective minds. Who does he think he is, steering his son's career? As if Deion was supposed to let the NFL lottery treat Shedeur like a scratch-off ticket. Nope, he played chess while everyone else was button-mashing Madden on rookie mode. The result? Cleveland landed a quarterback who actually wants to be there. Imagine that, a QB voluntarily signing up for the dog pound instead of being dragged in like it's jury duty. That storyline alone was juicy enough to keep the drama buzzing. But then you stack on Mary Kay's glowing practice reports, chemistry with receivers, poise in the pocket, and a passing touch that looks more surgical than accidental, and suddenly it's not hype anymore. It's evidence. And evidence is kryptonite for haters who built their brands on sneering at Shedeur's future. Now they're shifting goalposts so fast they look like referees on rollerblades. Let's pause on this practice narrative, because for years Browns practices have been like UFO sightings. Blurry, overhyped, and never delivering what fans hoped. Then comes Shedeur, dropping passes with precision that makes seasoned vets stop mid-route just to nod. Mary Kay points out how comfortable he is throwing over the middle, a zone most rookies treat like it's a haunted house. Instead of panicking, he threads passes into windows only his receiver can touch. That's not luck. That's timing, instinct, and guts. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco, the so-called safe option, is producing offensive output so low they barely qualify as professional football. One guy is quietly building momentum. The other is making highlight reels for all the wrong reasons.
Shedeur has started every game in high school, every game in college except one, and he's prepared for this next level and this journey that he's about to go. And I think he's the most equipped. He's had Cam, there's 7 different offensive coordinators.
Yes, sir.
And, a line that was always criticized and scrutinized, but he still stood and delivered. I think he's the best one for the job for any city, and he's the most equipped. Oftentimes, we draft these quarterbacks that been on these elite teams. Now they get in a situation where it's not as conducive to their success.
For sure.
And let's be real, this isn't just about one quarterback. It's about a fan base starved for hope. watching their rookies systematically rewrite a reputation older than half the roster. Cleveland has endured every brand of quarterback misery imaginable: draft busts, injury disasters, one-season wonders who fizzled faster than cheap fireworks. And now, suddenly, they've got a rookie who not only looks ready but has already turned the franchise's most skeptical insider into a believer. For Browns fans, that's like scratching a ticket and realizing you actually hit the jackpot. It doesn't feel real yet, but it's happening. The bigger picture here is wild. If Mary Kay Cabot, who has covered every cycle of hype and heartbreak this franchise has to offer, steps up and says Shedeur looks ready, then this isn't fluff. It's a signal. And you better believe the locker room feels it. Veterans who've seen quarterbacks rotate through like Uber drivers are noticing a rookie who doesn't flinch. Teammates who once doubted him are suddenly buying in. The energy changes when your quarterback isn't just filling a jersey but commanding respect, and that kind of shift? It doesn't stay hidden. It leaks into every play, every huddle, every sideline moment. The haters can't stand it. They spent months branding Shedeur as pampered, overhyped, riding his dad's coattails. Now, they're watching him earn the respect of one of the toughest fan bases in football. That's not just development, that's redemption in real time, but instead of admitting they were wrong, they're scrambling for excuses. It's just practice reps, he hasn't faced real game pressure yet. Right, because practice doesn't matter, until it does.
Comment on all that, but he did state he was ready right now, and he's not happy with his role with being on a scout team. Now, what player, before we get into this, because I know people's going to take some of this interview out of context, but name a player that is okay with being on the bench. I think I would be frustrated too if I was sitting my butt on the bench. I mean, if I know I'm better than damn near half the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and I'm on the bench, oh, I'm super mad. Oh, I'm hella mad. And I'm telling you right now, that's how Shedeur feels. Shedeur feel like he's ready to go right now. He's better than half of the quarterbacks that's in the NFL, and he's damn sure the best quarterback that.
Funny how that works. The same people who used bad practice clips to bury him are now pretending the good ones don't count. Peak mental gymnastics, and here's the kicker, this isn't even the final form. This is early stage Shedeur, the version still scratching the surface. What happens when he starts seeing real game action? What happens when the chemistry with young receivers carries over from practice fields to Sunday afternoons? At that point, the narrative doesn't just shift, it detonates. And every critic clinging to the old entitled storyline will be left holding ashes.